Couple of chances here for Oregon State. Slight touch detected on the block, and here is Toner off the left side, easily controlled, and right to the 3-meter line by Hagelin. Both teams, good defense in this rally. A momentum opportunity for Oregon State, but they can't put the ball away against Hagelin. Setter with the first contact for Oregon State down the line, still not there. Best point of the match so far, by far, and then finally down. Bricio with the off-speed tip from behind the 10-foot line.
She's worked incredibly hard, and I've seen her from her high school days in club all the way through at USC, and she has done such a great job physically of getting ready to play that college game.
Looking for their first conference win, taking on #1 USC, 14-1, perfect 4-0 in conference with former Trojan Kelly Tennant. I'm Paul Sunderland. Thanks for joining us. Another busy weekend around the Pac-12 conference in a number of sports. Football, of course, soccer and volleyball underway. We'll give you the rest of the volleyball schedule when we have a moment. Bricio off the left side again. What makes her such an outstanding all-around player?
I think for me, watching her elevate, her jump is incredible. She gets up and over, and then the speed of her swing. She can beat you not only with the jump, but then how fast she's swinging to get past the block. It's that duo that she brings. A lot of players have one and not the other. And the serve, of course.
Service ace in the column once again for Bricio. That is number 38 on the year, and a timeout taken by Oregon State. Boy, you better be ready to move your feet and get your platform in front of the ball, because Bricio has such a good arm swing that she finds seams and is super accurate with it. That program certainly was in turmoil under Lane Kiffin. And make no mistake, that was a very difficult decision to fire Lane Kiffin, especially with that timing.
Always tough.
And it has been very difficult so far. Oregon State completely outgunned right now. And Samantha Bricio going back once again with that jump serve.
Any team in the country has to find a way to get Bricio out of serving as fast as possible. You have to find a way to at least touch the ball. If you're not going to make a perfect pass, Becky Defoe has to be all over that to try and pop it up. You treat it like you're going to dig it so that you can run some sort of offense. It's like Oregon State can't pinpoint the spot on the floor they want to go to. I think ideally they would like to serve away from those players, but you just continue to go to them because you don't have enough ability to find a hole.
Another ace serve.
Very similar, so it'll be interesting to see the way the defenses play and try and pick up after those really strong offenses that each of them boast.
Bricio with yet another service winner. Thanks for joining us once again for volleyball coming your way on the Pac-12 networks. #1 USC at 14-1, 4-0. Their reigning Pac-12 Freshman of the Year, Samantha Bricio out of Mexico, back to serve. Oregon State 9-6 overall, looking for their first conference win. USC, after playing 3 of their first conference matches at home, are out for 4 straight on the road against Oregon State and then against the University of Oregon on Sunday. That match also right here on the Pac-12 networks. Must-score situation for Oregon State, but not against Hagelin, the libero in the off-colored jersey. And then Bricio very smoothly and calmly out of the back row.
And Bricio running that almost like a slide, like she's a middle in the front row. She goes off 1 foot for that back row attack to make sure that she gets her feet to the ball. Very important to not forget as a player. Feet to the ball first, then you take your swing.
Combination play. Beautiful swing by Bricio. She is just kind of a silent assassin. She just is so smooth.
That's exactly what it is. She's very silent, and she comes up and she creeps in. You can see none of those Oregon State blockers have their eyes on her. Very important to know at all times where Bricio is. That should be one of the first things you call out.
Oregon State's got to get out of this rotation, but they can't yet. Samantha Bricio was serving 3 aces up the middle, and give her credit, cuts this one back down the line and registers yet another ace.
And the trajectory of where she's bringing it from, so high up and then down, and the movement, side movement on the ball makes it very difficult to get a touch on.
And again, Oregon State playing some good defense. And Bricio high off the middle blocker, Amanda Brown's inside hand.
The coverage in the defense for both teams in that rally, very good. You have to, when you're blocking, when you're hitting, to stay around your hitter to be able to get those touches and keep the rallies going. And Bricio, a player that's able to execute and finish so well.
Bricio again turning the ball down the line.
I love that look. Totally facing cross court and then turns her shoulders at the end to go down the line. That tricks the defense. The blockers don't know where to line up, and then back row suffers because of it.
Darby Reeder with a sprawling save out of the backcourt to make that point possible.
Ooh.
Same combination play. Nothing that deceptive about it.
No.
Bricio just hanging out in the middle of the court, and Oregon State's not reading.
That's a lack of focus, of knowing where your big hitters are. Again, they're so focused on Haley Krone's setting, they're not seeing out of the corner of their eye that Bricio is coming up to take a big old swing.
Bricio again, real concern for Oregon State when she's at the service line, and yet another ace. Bricio over the top, dug by Defoe. Bricio again, and you hear the hand contact. When we talk about ball control in volleyball, I usually think about passing and digging, but hitting control is really important, and she gets a good hand on the ball.
She pinpoints where she wants to go, and you can tell that she takes her time, decides where she wants to go with the ball while she's in the air, because she will change last minute based on what she sees.
Bricio again, what location, over the block into the deep cross-court corner.
Finishing so high on that swing, you don't see a lot of players do that and keep it in the court. It's that high snap and finish, and she just gets up so high over the block. It'll be big to see the way Oregon reacts to not having Lauren Plum again, and they need to do a good job of playing tight, playing together, and trying to slow down USC's offense with the block.
That's coming up on Sunday. #1 USC taking on Oregon, but for this early evening, the early start, it was all USC. They win the opening set 25-11, the second 25-15, and there are two Hall of Fame coaches, all with Olympic pedigree, but it was clearly USC, the #1 team in the country, coming out on top. No trouble at all against Oregon State.